What's up, social family? Welcome back to another episode of Understanding Platforms. My name's James. I run a company called Shogun Social, and we help businesses post like creators. So if you want to learn more about how to use social media in a post-pandemic world, hit the subscribe, follow, like button, whatever it happens to be. Make sure you're hitting it, because then you can get regular content just like this. Today's episode is very special. It's going to be all about understanding the world of TikTok and how brands can get started jumping in a non-corporate fashion. Some of you may have seen the news recently about TikTok surpassing 1 billion users on their platform, which is absolutely wild. I think it's the fastest any other platform has grown, maybe apart from Instagram way back in the day, but it is an unprecedented phenomenon that brands can now no longer ignore. I've said it on many videos before, but now the real proof is in terms of how many users there are. Your target market is no doubt on there in some way, shape or form. So how will the brands actually take advantage of it? And how do you actually build a process in which you can make TikToks in a very easy fashion, in a very formulaic way, but also feels native? Because that's going to be the biggest challenge for any brands. You can't jump in and it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be on TikTok. Like TikTok say all the time, make TikToks, not ads. And this is something that all brands are going to have to get used to. It's very counterintuitive. It's not a place you can sell. Right, so the first step I'd take in understanding how your brand can use TikTok can be as simple as just use the platform regularly. Spend at least 20 minutes a day socially listening on that platform to figure out what people are liking, what they're engaging with, what's on the trending tab, and really ride those waves of trends to figure out how people are using the platform. TikTok has a culture of extreme togetherness, authenticity, and it's very much an anti-social platform compared to what we know. So I've said it on previous videos before, it's all about not being Instagram perfect. It's all about just being yourself, filming a video in a car and keeping it as unprofessional as humanly possible. Counterintuitive for many brands, yes. But the more casual you treat TikTok, the more of a positive response you'll get. So learn the culture, be part of the culture and be part of the community for you to get the best results. So step one, just use the platform as much as humanly possible. Step two, once you've spent some time on TikTok, understanding how it works, flicking through the For You page and the following page, and kind of aiming it towards yourself. Now you understand that. I need you to understand the culture of audio and how it's used and translated. So for people outside of the TikTok world, they often see it's just, the dancey dance stuff that people don't take seriously. It's actually really, really deep. And oftentimes it can be translated audio from movies, music, or just something that someone said that's quite funny, and just translating it into something that could actually be valuable or entertaining or educational. It's amazing how people are taking audio trends and working it into their fashion. And that's how you natively blend into TikTok. It's understanding how to take pieces of audio and figure out how your brand can slot in that space. Ryanair is one of my favorite examples of this. They really jump on every trend and they really aim in for humor. Not all brands are going to have the opportunity to do what Ryanair has done because they're already Ryanair. They don't exactly have a big brand to build, and they don't have professional services in their kind of repertoire. So this will probably be for your legal bods out there who are trying to figure out how to use the platform to actually get better brand exposure. But use audio and translate trends into a way that you can provide knowledge and thought leadership. So every time you're scrolling through the platform, every time you stumble across a video, I want you to click right at the bottom. I want you to click the audio. I want you to see how many people have used it, how many different ways they've translated it, and then start to understand how they are leveraging it for whatever their niche is. That's probably the best way for you to ideate in this process to figure out what on earth you can actually do and blend in on TikTok. Point number 3 will probably be understanding the culture of stitches and duets. This is a very interesting feature which can provide you a lot of easy content within your niche if you're lucky enough to have lots of content already within your niche. So let's take in the TikTok world, believe it or not, the B2B marketing space, entrepreneurial space, and general business space is actually quite big on there. And there's plenty of people you can find to give you kind of tips, hints, real estate, I'm talking anyone of anything. There's a lot of people on there educating on the subject. So one of the best things to do on that is to stitch videos or duet videos on certain topics that are in your niche already to react to them. So this is where you can get the reaction channel style stuff already built up. You want to start building that parasocial connection and trust straight away, and also give you a chance to show your thought leadership in different ways. So when you're actually duetting someone, if they're chatting absolute waffle, then call them out on it. Be there to actually be the standard and gold standard within your industry on TikTok, or laugh along with them or go, this is absolutely correct. Chuck out competition and move into a collaborative mindset when you're on TikTok, because no one really competes. They all just kind of get along, apart from if you look at certain comment sections, but we'll get into that later. So yes, stitches and duets can be so easy just to watch a video and go, that was great, let me just duet that, or that was amazing, but let me stitch and add something to it. So find out if there's content missing, find out if you can contribute to content, find out if you actually really agree with a point or disagree with points. Start conversations in your TikTok channel and you'll find conversation pieces come back to you. And you even are allowed to do video responses to comments. So this is why the content train on TikTok is very, very easy to get going, because if you can encourage comments, you can add to conversations, be part of the community, you're going to be much more ingratiated within it. So yes, stitches, duets, and then answer those comments via video. Another tip I'd give is to really dive deep into the full creative suite that TikTok gives you. TikTok gives you so many different things that you can do. It can be really overwhelming when you first open the app. So don't be afraid to dive in and just try stuff out. I'm talking use every filter, use every trend, figure out what works for you, and actually maybe create a unique style. So as you're scrolling through something, and every office or every brand has their own unique set of restrictions. You could have quite heavy brand restrictions in terms of tone of voice and things that get in your way. You could have a team that doesn't like to be on video too much, so you have to kind of have one or two people be the representative. You always have your different challenges within a business that you can't do as a creator. So use the full creative suite and know your full creative suite on TikTok to allow you to figure out how you can work around your team's restrictions instead of those restrictions limiting you from being on the platform. Because that's what I've seen in a lot of conversations. People get discouraged by the fact that they've been working in a certain way for so long. Now they've got to a point where they can't move any further because the team doesn't want to be on. We have a quite restricted brand team, all this stuff. Don't let it hold you back. Know your tools so you can use that to figure out ways around it. Ryanair's done it perfectly in the fact that they just kind of superimpose eyes and a mouth onto a plane, and that's how they do most of their content. And you'll find it trickling down to other platforms, so people are really appreciating that anyway. So figure out what you can use as a weapon to work around your natural restrictions. Another top tip, do feel free to actually leverage the trends going on, but make sure you're quick. So if you then act on a trend a week after it's happened, it's too late. Don't bother. Wait for the next one. This is going to be something that stops you coming across as very corporate, and this can be tough again for larger teams and larger marketing departments and larger approval chains. It is so hard to jump on trends at the right time. But when you're having discussions with superiors and brand departments and everything like this, when it comes to even legal departments, you need to allow them to understand and educate them on the culture of TikTok to allow you that leeway on there for it to be less a restrictive platform. It's going to be a hard conversation, but it definitely needs to happen because it has a completely different culture to any and all other platforms. So you need to blend in with that natively and also ride the waves of native reach. This is a reason why everyone is using TikTok. It gives everyone a platform to go viral. It gives everyone a platform to get the views their brands deserve. All it takes is one TikTok for your brand to completely change and be in a different stratosphere. And once you get that one, you'll understand. So give yourself the leeway, give yourself the freedom, and if you need to, have difficult conversations with decision makers to educate them on the culture of TikTok so they understand its value and how to work with it. Another quick tip I'll give, this is more of a functional tip, but when you're filming your TikToks, remember that obviously they are vertical full screen experiences, and remember where your safe zones are. So this is for all brand departments and social media managers. You're probably already familiar with this anyway, but when you're filming a piece, when you're putting in native content or you're repurposing something to go on there, let's say this is a podcast clip, for instance, understand where your like, comment and share zone is on the right, understand where your kind of duet buttons are and your audio and captions are, because they do take up space. So you have a safe zone built in, especially if you are doing different types of content. So keep that in mind when you're repurposing something or it's your first time doing TikTok. When you're in the native builder, it does give you a kind of like a ghost preview of stuff, especially when you're writing text. So do leverage that and all the creative tools in it as much as possible. Just to make sure that you are not overlapping with anything, because the amount of times I've been scrolling through my For You page and I've seen a caption that's half cut off by the notch on the top of my phone or something, and it's a pain. So keep account for different types of mobiles and the native tools and things within the platform. And then lastly, the biggest takeaway that I can give you for this is to actually create a framework in which you can easily create TikToks. It's not easy. TikTok has such creative breadth that it becomes a massive blank page syndrome. But the biggest advice I can give is start on your native For You page and scroll through. And you need to think in 3 key ways: audio, idea, and execution. So as you scroll through your For You page, I want you to go, okay, right, the audio is this. Let's say it's a clip from Avatar, or it's a quote from Mean Girls. How can I take this audio and transform it into my idea? So if it's a Mean Girls clip, let's say, talking about, I don't know, what it's like at this school, then we can change that into terms of what it's like in toxic office cultures or something like that. And then it becomes an execution piece. So how do we want to do that? Do we want to film it in terms of panning across the office and making like a parody thing? Obviously, you don't want your office to come from a negative light, but you get where I'm going with this. Do people want to be in it? Do you need media release forms? Then you consider all of the ins and outs of the execution, and then easily make it. But every single piece you make, I encourage you to make it as natively as humanly possible, because if it can just come across on this in high quality, like all the other creators are doing, it becomes a far more natural experience. I also recommend getting faces in it as much as possible. The parasocial connection is a real thing. So if you're stitching and duetting someone and you want to build that connection with a possible customer, client, or audience member, then please do get people in it. Recurring characters can be a really powerful tool. But whenever you're making a TikTok, just scroll through and figure out how you can transform each trend, each audio that pops up in audio, idea, execution. So remember those three, and it'll serve you well when you're ideating for your TikTok content. And do it weekly so you can stay as hot on it as humanly possible. You can't do this a month ahead in advance. You will be too late, or you'll be just very, very corporate and very much feels like you're just pushing stuff out to be on the platform. It is not a platform you can just service. It is a platform you have to take part in. So keep that in mind. Weekly, audio, idea, execution, and you'll be set on TikTok to really be part of the community and let your brand fly. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. We have a ton more information like this on any and all platforms. We're doing plenty of talks. So we are on the first episode of Barclays Eagle Labs Disruptive Podcast coming up. All the dates and everything will be in the description. And also, if you're local to Southampton, we are doing monthly workshops on all the different platforms, along with some networking here as well in the morning. So if you want to learn about Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above, we'll be doing stuff going all the way into next year on how to understand each platform in proper person-to-person workshops. So if you want to take a part of that, let me know. And also, if you want to just have a chat, drop it in the comments, DM me. If you ever have any questions, we're always here to answer them. So with that said, I'll see you all later. Peace.